Hey guys, JT here. Thank you for joining me. It's great to be back with you again. Now today I've got a bit of an unusual product for you. I was in a store and happened across these and thought to myself, I gotta have me some of these. What I'm talking about are these CobraTec knives, aka auto knives, aka switchblades, aka OTF or out the front knives. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Every moment tonight, they led me to you. Every single time you look at me, I lose it too. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day, mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up for my sins? Now I'm lonely and it kills me. Can you hear me, babe? I'm lonely. I know you don't wanna talk, but just pick up the phone. We could go for a walk, talk about the things we know. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day, mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time?
The question you're probably asking yourselves is whether auto knives or switchblades are legal to carry, and the answer is it depends. Here in the US, most states have no restrictions on auto knives, so you can carry, possess, manufacture, sell, buy as you wish. There are some states, 7 states I believe, as you'll see on this map, where it is not legal to possess an auto knife. And then again, there are a handful of states where there are some restrictions, such as in California, the blade has to be 2 inches or smaller. So obviously, check this site here. I'll have a link in the program description where you can check the guidelines in your state. Now, the reason why I decided to purchase an auto knife and try out the experience of using it as my everyday carry is for just a very practical reason. Almost every time I'm in need of a knife, my hands are full. I'm usually carrying boxes or packages and I need to cut something open. I might need to cut a string or a cord loose or a wire. And when I'm reaching for my knife, I'm usually pretty restricted in my mobility because I'm holding something. And so the idea of being able to pull out something out of my pocket and to be able to engage it that quickly is amazing. Now, granted, there's a whole art form into opening a folding knife with one hand, with one finger, and I'm not against that. I enjoy developing that skill set as well. But in a very practical sense, I think an auto knife is a very practical tool because when I need a knife, I usually need it right away, and I want to be able to get it out and get it to work quickly and solve my problem. So I'm not advocating this as a self-defense tool. In fact, I think it's a terrible idea to pull out a knife in a situation where you're trying to defend yourself. I mean, let's face it, if you are in a situation where conflict is arising and you pull out a knife, you're escalating it rather significantly into a point that probably the guys with badges and handcuffs are going to pay you a visit and take you to their special place. So I don't advocate carrying a knife for a self-defense tool. In fact, the tool I carry with me everywhere I go is OC spray. And not just any OC spray. I carry one of the best in the industry where if a situation's developing where conflict or violence is about to ensue, I can take out someone from 25 to 30 feet away and incapacitate them for half an hour to an hour until the authorities show up, and it's non-lethal. So for me, this is my primary self-defense tool, and I advocate this. In fact, I'm going to do a whole review of this particular OC or pepper spray. I highly advocate this as a tool of self-defense and not something like one of these. In fact, if you're in a situation where conflict is arising and you're wanting to pull this tool out, you've got to have a lot of skill and be in very close contact with someone else, and that's just not a scenario that I want to be in, and I don't think anybody does. So I think, there's this impression that a switchblade or auto knife is a self-defense tool or a tool of violence, and so I certainly don't advocate that, and I'm not advocating anyone follow the thug life and solve problems with violence. Instead, we solve problems as adults with our words. Now, the closest I ever got to living the thug life was when I was in high school. I'll tell you a quick little story. I was born in Texas, but then grew up in Arkansas, and I lived way out in the boonies just south of Little Rock. Also, this scene is set in the 1970s, back when we rode in the back of pickup trucks without seat belts and no one gave a second thought to the idea. And so it was a different time, a different culture and climate than what we experience here today. But a bunch of my buddies decided to go shooting. We lived out in the country, and so there were plenty of places we'd go shoot our guns, and we all had guns. I had 3 or 4 guns. I had a 30-06 and 12 gauge and maybe a 30-30, and so all of us had guns, and we just decided, hey, let's go out and do some shooting, and just the guy thing to do. So we loaded up all of our guns, and each of us had 3 to 4 guns. We had them in the floorboard, on our laps, gathered around us. In this small car, we had about 20 rifles. And as we're driving to the gun range, out in the middle of nowhere, a car pulls up behind us and it begins to tailgate and persists in this tailgating for some time. And eventually it becomes clear that this person isn't going to let up and wants us to find some way to pull out of his way so he can drive on to his merry way. Well, after some period, I suggest a solution to the guys in the car. I'm in the back passenger side, and I say, fellas, the guy behind us seems to be trying to send us a message, and I recommend that we send a message back to him, that we receive his message loud and clear. And here's my proposition. I recommend we roll down all of our windows, and on the count of 3, we stick our rifles out the window, all 20 of them. Not point them at the guy, just stick them out and just send a message saying, hey, we understand that we're an annoyance to you, and we just wanted to let you know we got it. So everybody's in on the plan. 3, 2, 1, 20 guns out the window. Now, I didn't have a timer, but I suspect the guy set a world record in the fastest and hardest braking in history. And we went on our merry way and never saw the guy again. Now, that's as close as I ever got to living the thug life. And again, a different culture, a different climate. Don't try that yourselves in this climate, because the guys with badges and handcuffs will come and pay you a visit and take you to their special place. So I'm recommending this as something that you can use in a very practical way to carry with you to solve just everyday problems. Now, I'm aware that I have to be a little bit more careful than usual, because if I'm in a situation where I need a knife and I pull this out in public where I'm around people that don't know me, that can cause fear in people, and that could be aggravated assault, and then you get to go to a special place. But I try to be conscientious, and typically I don't ever pull out a knife to use unless I'm alone or I'm with guys. We're working on a project together with friends. They know me, and that's obviously not going to be an issue. In fact, probably the first thing I do with the guys is pull this out and say, hey guys, what do you think of this? And I gotta say, it's kind of addictive. It is. It's a lot of fun to use. I find myself walking around sometimes and I just want to get a few flicks off, and I realize I'm in a public setting, I might be on an elevator, and I think, okay, there might be a security camera here, or sure enough, as soon as I pull it out, someone stops, sees this, and then I'm going to the special place. So I try to be super conscientious that this could frighten someone, and if you pull out anything that could be used as a weapon and you frighten people with it, then that becomes a criminal activity. So I want to be super conscientious of when and where I put this to use. But as for me, I'm finding this to be a very helpful tool. And I don't know much about CobraTec, but they're made here in Texas, in Meridian, Texas, and they carry a lifetime warranty. It's amazing to find a knife manufacturer who so stands behind their product that they offer a lifetime warranty. But I've got to say, these things are made really robust, and I feel super confident using this and pulling it out and doing this a whole lot because it's just so much fun. I just enjoy doing this. I really recommend you check these out, and CobraTec makes a wide variety of knives and shapes. Now, I first saw this CobraTec knife in a gun store I was visiting. I got it out, took a look at it, and I really like the feel, the balance, the construction. It just feels very solid. And with a lifetime warranty, I mean, there's very little to be concerned about in terms of it not functioning or breaking. So I decided to give it a try, take it home, and I carried this around with me for a couple of weeks. I carried it in my work pants, which wearing a suit more or less. I soon discovered this is so heavy, this is solid steel, it is just a very robust product. You could run over this with a tank, and I doubt it would suffer any damage at all. But it became obvious that this thing was going to wear a hole in my pocket in just a matter of days. And so I decided to put this aside and go get the lightest weight version I could find, which is this super lightweight. And now I've been carrying this for a couple of weeks, and I absolutely love it. It comes in handy, and anytime I've needed it, it is incredibly sharp and just deals with whatever it is I need to cut loose. But I say that to say I decided I'm going to give this one away to one of you viewers. So this is the medium. It's robust and heavy, and it's got a dagger blade on it. It's a gorgeous blade. And so in order to win this, you need to do three things. First of all, you can't be in a state where these are against the law. I will not send this to anyone who lives in a state where there are restrictions that make this illegal to possess. Second, you need to be subscribed. So if you haven't, click that subscribe button so that you can qualify. And then finally, go into the comment section below and say, I gotta have it. That's the magic word to qualify you fully to receive this. And the first week in November 2021, I'll be drawing a name randomly and sending this to one of you guys. So looking forward to seeing who wins this and how you are finding it useful. Now, if you're watching this video after the fact and I've already given this away, keep providing comments of I gotta have it. And if there's enough of those, that there's enough interest, I'll be contacting the manufacturer and I might be giving some more of these away in the future. Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, insightful, or amusing. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, spread the love.